Welcome to the Tattooed Truth Podcast with Anna Love, a space for embodied conversations for soul-led rebels. I'm your host, Anna Love, intuitive empowerment coach, subconscious healing guide, and no stranger to burning it all down to rise in truth. Here, we dive deep into identity, healing, personal power, and what it really takes to lead a soul-aligned life. You'll hear unfiltered insights, real stories, and live coaching sessions with bold callers ready to break free and embody their next level. This is your invitation to reclaim your voice, rewire your patterns, and rise fully expressed. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. I am so excited. Today is a special day because we are starting this podcast off with my brand new co-host, Melissa.
Hello.
Welcoming you in. And this is going to be a segment that we'll do every now and then. And I think this is so fun for me. Like, I've been dreaming of this my whole life, and Melissa is my perfect person and partner in crime on the Tattooed Truth podcast. So let's dive into today's topic, shall we? We are talking about relationships, and namely, how do we get into relationships that turn out being toxic? And almost more importantly, how is it that we struggle to get out of these relationships? So that's how does that title even sit in your body when I say that?
It takes me down memory lane because I really honestly have been trying to figure this out for so long. And I don't know if I mirrored what I've seen, or I carry traumas for so long, or I was looking for something like had daddy issues kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's all of the above. I think we've all experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. Like, I don't want to make you talk about things that, are too personal. Like, I spill it. I don't mind talking about my shit here. But for you, feel free to speak doozies there. Maybe some daddy issues in there, right? A lot of us are dealing with that. Sometimes even mommy issues, right? I think that points towards attachment issues, right? And when we say daddy issues, what we really mean is there was a break in the attachment bond with, you're specifically talking about your father, right?
Right.
So, I mean, let's just focus on that for a second. What do you feel? And I'm all about, like, we get our answers not through our mind, but through our body, right? Where do you feel that attachment wound? Is it still there? Is it something that you're dealing with currently, or is it things from the past, do you think?
I think it's still there. I lost my dad at 5 suddenly, and I didn't have an understanding of so many things. And I think I've been searching for that because I didn't have that bond. I never got a chance to create that bond.
Yeah. It was an abrupt loss,
Yes.
which is a trauma.
Right.
And that's right. It stays in your body.
It stayed in my body.
Yeah. Do you feel it in your body somewhere when you talk about it?
I think, yes, like I have the chills right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And I still talk to him 40 years later out loud. Like, and I don't know if it's anger or missing him. I don't know what it is, but I definitely still feel it every day.
And how do you feel if you were to know, and if you don't know, this is important. We just go, this is the problem, is I don't know. How do you feel that attachment rupture transfers over into relationships that you've had?
I was thinking about this. I was thinking about the first situation that I got into that was abusive was in high school. And it's a funny story, but I fell out the back of a truck one morning, like on the way to school, broke my nose, broke my wrist, go back to school, and I couldn't write. And there was this guy in my class, and he like offered to write for me, and he helped me. And I thought back to this, and I was like, he found a way in, and that was it. And the way that I looked at him, I guess it was some of that I was missing.
Yeah, like he helped you. He came to your rescue.
And I was just instantly attached,
There it is.
instantly.
Yeah.
And he was like not a good person from the beginning. That was just a facade to get what he wanted to get from me. That it lasted like 4 years. He ended up being physically abusive. And then that trickled to the next situation. My next relationship wasn't physically, but it was more emotionally and mentally.
Yeah.
Then the next one after that was physically.
Would you say that all three that you just named, were you sort of attracted to them for the same reasons as you were the first guy?
Yeah, because I think I was misinterpreting what love was.
Oh my God. And that's the thing, you guys. That's the thing. It's our version of reality. It's our perception
Mhm.
of what we see. And when we see things through a lens of, let's just stay on your strain of trauma, where you've had loss, that's going to be your lenses. That's going to be what you see everything through.
Right.
And then we're always going to crave the thing that we feel that we didn't get.
Right. Which I think is attention from a male, I guess, in this situation, because the loss was my dad.
Yeah, all we ever want as humans is connection. I mean, there's no foul in us wanting that, right? There's no shame in that game. Like we all want attention and we all want it from males and females. It's just innately something that we need to survive, right? It's as important as water.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think about that on the female side, the things I didn't get in the relationship with my mother, I don't think I seek the same thing, but I had trust issues.
Exactly.
Yep. You
Yep.
might be the first woman that I fully trusted in my adult life.
That's fucking bananas and
Yeah.
nerd. That's crazy. And that's the thing and I've had both too. I have female and male trauma as well. And it runs deep and it courses in our blood. It courses in our cells and it creates the way we see things. And it does. I mean, the things that you just said, trust, right? And even I hear security in there and just comfort, true connection. And then what do we end up doing when we think that we find it in another? And you said you didn't find it in another female, but you found it in males. And that's pretty typical too, right? Because we're always looking for a partner. And when we find it in another, we don't know how to recognize. And this is, I think, a key distinction is we don't know how to recognize if it's safe, if it's real, if it's worthy, if it's true.
Yeah. And what do you do when that person is making you feel like they're your safe space or they're going to be a safe space?
Well, they are your safe space. I'm gonna call you out on them making you feel though, because
Okay.
a lot of people think that another person makes us feel, but this is the thing. When we get that we're the ones feeling like they're being them, right? They're showing up however they're showing up. They're doing or not doing certain things. And then we are taking all that in and then we're creating meaning around it. So we're the ones making it mean something. They're like, and we're saying, oh, they make me feel good, but really we're the ones allowing it. And that's, I think, the first step. So I'm glad you just said that because that's the first step. And I think that's a really big thing, really big key to getting out of this type of loop in our
Mm-hmm.
next relationship is noticing that they can't make us feel anything. They can't. We get to be the person who says, "Ooh, look what he just did." And that's a shitty thing. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't like the way it makes me feel. Like the action makes me feel, but I'm going to take ownership over it and I'm going to tell him to get lost. And that's what we don't do.
Right.
That's what we don't do.
Yeah, you're making me think back. You're right, though. That I believed something that wasn't true. He didn't make me feel anyway. I believed.
Yep. Yep. And people can tell us all kinds of things. I mean, I was told to my face, you're my person. Where I'm never leaving you. They can say whatever words can come out of anyone's face, right? Like it doesn't matter. It's up to us. And this is where the healing, and this is where I think when we really truly figure out and crack the code on how to get out of these relationships is when we realize that we get to say, Those are just words coming out of your face. And I don't trust it. There's something in my body that wonders, is that actually true? Like, show me with your actions.
You're so right. Because now this is my first healthy relationship with someone that was a longtime friend. And I had a hard time doing that. Somebody I knew I could trust, he showed me, and I'm still having trouble receiving and believing. And I'm questioning myself. Never had to question his actions or anything, though.
So is it healthy? Did you say you're in a healthy relationship and you're still having trouble trusting, or
Not really trusting, but maybe, yeah, at first, yes.
at
I
first?
think receiving the love.
Because you're 5. When you get into a relationship with someone, all of a sudden you turn 5 again.
Right.
So there's the girl, the little girl going, is he going to stay? Is he going to abruptly leave? Just like when you were 5.
Exactly.
And this is it, guys. This is it, right? So this whole entire conversation is, how do we get out of these loops? And what do we need? What do we need? Right? And what we need is, it's like almost like there's no amount of proof that's going to come from somebody else unless it's consistency, right? Consistency in actions and in words. Like, have integrity about what you say. Integrity means, and there's lots of different definitions, but I really enjoy this one the best. It's mean what you say and say what you mean,
Hmm.
right? And then if you do that consistently enough, then that little girl part of me that was abandoned, or I did have an attachment that was ruptured, that little girl gets to start to rewrite the story with you.
Absolutely. And I think that's the point that I'm at in my life now.
Yeah.
But it took me some internalizing to realize that he's showing up. He's doing all the right things. It's me still in my head saying, like, expecting something bad to
And
happen.
that's how we self-sabotage.
Yeah.
That's the definition of that too.
Hmm.
Where you can have a good thing right in front of you and you're going to blow it up because that's what's more familiar.
Hmm.
That's what's more familiar. And that's where we start. What I like to do with clients is have them notice their patterns and notice what they do when certain things show up in their body, because the body tells us everything we need.
Right.
Right. So it might be screaming at us when someone is showing up for us. And if we're not in our feminine, we are not going to know how to receive. And I was one of those women too, where I was blocking the receiving for many, many years in the relationships and then going, why do I keep attracting in emotionally unavailable men? Well, because you're not calling in the opposite. You're not calling in the ones that are available. You're calling in what's vibrationally in alignment with what you're putting out, what you're feeling on a daily basis. It's crazy how this whole game works.
It is crazy. And now you're making me realize that I listened to that voice that has been that little girl that's been in my head for 40 years.
And the thoughts in our voice, they're not even us. So if you really break it down, like if I were to like take away all of your limbs, like your arms and your legs, like you're not your body, you're still here.
Mm-hmm.
You're still here. If I were to like eliminate, you were like one day can't have use of your body, you're still here, right? If one day you don't have use of your thoughts, right, and your feelings, you're still here. Like, this is absolute proof that the words that we're saying, like our mind, I'm not trying to discount our mind. Our mind is like a good tool. Like if we want to make money or we want to, get from point A to point B, we need to have a brain. We need to have like a working, functioning brain that gets us to do it. And that's great. That's why we like the mind. But where the mind hurts us is when we believe what it's saying to us. They're just words. Like I said, words coming out of someone's face, words traveling around our head. And they're old stories. They're stories from 30 years ago.
Right.
They're stories that a toddler made up, right?
Right. Right.
Or a 5-year-old made up. And we're still living by that as if it's true.
Absolutely.
And it's not just us two. I'm telling you, it's the whole world. And I don't care who you are, you've been in at least one relationship where you looked back and you said, ooh, I wish that hadn't happened.
For sure.
And there's a lot of us who we just go from relationship to relationship to relationship. And I'm a big advocate of when you get out of a relationship, don't have another person waiting right there. I don't care if you've been friends with that person for 5 years or, you met them on a dating app yesterday. Either way, if you've just gotten out of a relationship, that's the perfect time to reflect on, okay, what did I just go through? Like, how did I take part in that? How am I responsible? And what patterns in that other person am I noticing that I no longer want to agree with?
Right.
Because it takes two to tango. We agree.
Right.
We agree. We can point fingers, and there's lots of people who point fingers at other people and go, it was all them, it was all them. You participated in allowing that behavior by not leaving.
Right. And it took, you're right, because my first one was in my 20s. I think I was too immature to do that. So I didn't and jumped to the next thing. Then that ended in my early 30s. I didn't do it again. But this last time I did it because I said to myself, I have to take accountability for what I've allowed and my part in it. That not meaning that it's okay that I allowed someone to abuse me, but my accountability in the whole
Right.
thing.
We have to look at, no, and abuse is never tolerated, right? So I'm a big believer, like if someone were to abuse me at all, that would be easy for me to leave. But it's the subtle things. It's the things that aren't so abusive that you're like, well, you're a little bit more forgiving over it, even though you don't want to tolerate that either. But there's a part of you that it's like, well, maybe that wasn't so bad, right? Either way, I mean, I know a lot of women out there are struggling with, and I've had a lot of clients and I've had a lot of friends, and I was that girl. I mean, I was trapped. I say trapped because that's how I felt. And I was trapped in an 8-year relationship between the ages of 16 and 24, but I was the one who did the trapping, right? So there were, many instances when I could have walked out the door because he was like cheating and, not really connecting with me in the way that I wanted. And I had a pair of legs. I could have left, but I was searching for meaning. I was making it mean that he still wanted me around because of these other reasons. And then I would say, well, he obviously wants me, so I'm
Yeah.
going to stay, even though he obviously didn't want me over here. And I chose to stay. Right. So it's that self entrapment that's, a lot of
Sure.
women are dealing with that. And I mean, I'm telling you, for 8 years, I would not leave that relationship because it was part of my identity. And when you get that, like, identity is so big, who I am when I'm with this person, who do I think that other people think I am when I'm with this person? Am I afraid of being when I'm not with this person? This is all tied to identity.
Yes. And let me add, I think I stayed too because the fear of failure again and again and again.
Like that someone else would judge you or you would judge you?
Probably both.
Mhm.
It's like, I don't want to go through this again. Right. Like another breakup. I just don't want to go through this again. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are people going to say? Or what am I going to look like?
Yep.
And that none of that really matters.
Of course it doesn't. None of it matters. What matters, I've come to realize, is our true happiness and peace. Like ours, whether we're alone or whether we're with someone. But, for all the women who are struggling out there, what piece of advice would you give them, or what would be something that you could say from your current state now, like where you are now in your relationship, your solid relationship, where you
Oh, don't listen to that voice in your head. They're not right. That's the first thing. Do not listen. And what you were saying about like repeating the same patterns, don't ignore those red flags.
big
Just don't.
That's the thing.
It's so easy to do that because at the time you don't always realize they are. But take off the rose-colored glasses from the beginning
Yeah.
because that's how you stop repeating those patterns, I think.
I would absolutely agree with all of that, and I would also say do what's, called the inner work, the shadow work. Go back and see if there's a younger version of you that feels left behind in the dust that, you need to go repair,
Mhm.
and it's up to us. Again, we get to take responsibility over repairing and healing that relationship with our younger you. And your younger you doesn't have to always revolve around a 3-year-old, right? Or a 5-year-old. It could be the college age you. It could be
Right.
the girl in high school, the girl in middle school. A couple of guys I dated, they would even, the unavailable ones, they would, when I would push for like, what's your deal, man? Like, what's your fucking deal? They would give me this I had 2 different sob story about a 13-year-old boy when they were in 8th grade. Someone like hurt their feelings and they got laughed at, or they got made fun of, or they wanted to go out with her, but she was like, not you. Right? They're still carrying that shit around and their 30s and 40s and 50s. Like, this is the shit.
Yeah.
Fix that shit, man. Like, and it's funny to laugh at, but it's also like sad to to think about that this is all it takes. It's like, you know, we're hurting, and instead of doing the inner work, we're out there just like, okay, next, next,
Yep.
next.
Yeah, and I think I didn't realize I had self-esteem issues growing up. My weight always fluctuated. I was always so self-conscious. So I dealt aloud thing because I thought, oh, well, if this person really still wants to be with me,
Mm,
and this is the first time that I'm still struggling, now it's different health issues, but this is the first time I also had to embrace that it doesn't matter. This
right.
person loves me whether I'm 600 pounds or 100.
That's right. The unconditional love.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, right. And until my 40s came, I didn't, I had to get out of my head with that too
Yep.
and
That's a big,
change those self-esteem issues. And I know a lot of women, most of my close friends have stayed too long for those same reasons.
yeah. They figure, well, he likes me, and so I'm not going to leave that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a big thing. And I do a lot of inner work on myself, on what I call self mastery, and that because I too grew up not feeling confident, not feeling strong enough to even trust my own gut, my own body was giving me signals, and I would override it, and I would be looking for other people to tell me like, hey, is this or that, and like, so now I realize that I was so far away from connecting with who I am and my truth and my knowing. Like, it's always there, but if you're away from it, you don't know how the hell to get back. You're like you're like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. You're like, I don't know where I am and I don't know where I'm supposed to go, but I know this isn't right.
Right.
That's how I grew up. That's how I felt for most of my life, even in an adult, even through all my marriage, all of it. And you allow other people again to, I guess, show you that you're worthy finally, right? Like, oh, someone wants to be with me. Someone wants to marry me. Someone doesn't think that I'm disgusting or whatever it is.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So,
Like people telling me I'm beautiful. And I'm like, you really think so? I didn't believe it. Like I've heard that my whole life and I did not believe it.
so the self mastery is all about, connecting with your own confidence and not needing it from another, right? Or connecting with your own courage, not needing it from another, connecting with your own compassion for yourself and not
Mhm.
needing it from another, right? It's all about getting laser clear on, and I like to say awake on what are we really doing here? Like, what are
Right.
we freaking doing, right? And if we're giving our worth away to another, where that's a red flag that you're not, connecting with you. And I think to rebuild, if someone were to say like, what do I do to rebuild? I'd say go back and work with someone who does inner child work or inner younger self work. Stop listening to that loop, like you said, that mind chatter, because that's not even real.
Mhm.
That's the old insecure version of you talking,
Yes,
right? And do that, find a way to get connected with yourself and your truth and your courage and all that's already there for you.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's like the honey pot. I don't know why this is coming to me, but it's like I did this brain spotting session the other day, and it's what I visualized. It was like all of it is right there in your like womb area, even, and it's like this like beautiful place that harbors all of those things that you can access for your own truth.
Hmm.
It's all there. So, well, this has been amazing to chat with you. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on or talk about?
Not today.
Ha ha ha. Yeah, there'll be other days. This is a good episode. And hopefully, whoever's listening will take at least one of these little things that we're talking about and apply it or ask questions. And you can always follow me at my Instagram, Heal with Anna Love. Ask me questions that you'd like us to talk about on this podcast. That would be fun,
That would be awesome.
right? So I'm looking forward to more episodes with you.
Me too.
This was great. All right, bye for now.
Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in to the Tattoo Truth Podcast. If this episode lit something up in you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, leave a review, and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss a truth bomb. If you're craving deeper support, guided healing, or a space to reclaim your voice and power, check the show notes for ways to work with me. Remember, your truth is not too loud, too bold, or too much. It's exactly what this world needs. Keep showing up, stay wild, stay true. I'll see you next time.